Wednesday Eve. My name is Mr. Darling, and I did say that I was going to start coming live before I start this out. I would just like to give out a shout out to Grammy Games. You've like looked out for me many times over the last few months and helped me get a scooter, helped me put the money aside so I can get a scooter, right? I appreciate that. So I just want to give you a shout out right at the top. Um, yeah, so I'm back rolling. Okay, I also like to give a shout out to the homegirl that came through on the clutch. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I am blessed. I feel blessed. I feel good today, even though it is extremely hot outside. I got a lot to talk about today. A lot of stuff to talk about, especially with the protests going on. The protests, at least here in Las Vegas, are supposed to be happening right up the street, and it's kind of crazy here because they actually set up like little places where they can go, and you can see like the little police thing, and it's just like I don't know. It's so I've never been that close to like one of these protests, so I've never known it was that like orchestrated, like where it's like, okay, yeah, y'all are here, the cops are here, y'all gonna have y'all signs over here, and then the media's gonna be over here, and it's just like it's almost like blocked off in a way, and they were doing it right up here, downtown, like right here on Las Vegas Boulevard, and to me, it's just like it's pageantry to a certain degree, but I did see something that I didn't like, and it was a couple protesters. And see, my thing is, I'm consistent with my beliefs in that. Let me make sure that the chat is up. I'm consistent in my beliefs in that if, regardless of whether or not I may agree or disagree with your political beliefs, I believe that you have a right to freedom of speech. And that means even speaking at the police or at your public officials or towards them, it is what it is. Hey, what's up, Long Beach Joe? Salutes, respect to Machine God Eats. Absolutely, it's going to be a great life. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Welcome in, welcome in. Um, I think that you should be able to say what you want, but I saw, and I'll post a video tomorrow of my reaction to it. Some of our police officers here, Metro, the dude called one of the Metro officers the B word, and and it wasn't even. They asked me, said, "You don't have anything better to do with your time?" And they said no, and the cops just turned around and just hemmed those people up, and they really didn't have a reason to hem those people up. If the guy hurt your feelings for cussing at you, that's one thing, but if you're going to be a police officer, you got to have thicker skin in that, and words don't hurt. A dude throwing the B word at me, any word, they can throw the N word at me, but if I'm a police officer, it is what it is. This is a country. You can't use the power of the state to suppress somebody's voice because you don't like what they're protesting about. There's a lot of stuff that people protest for in this country that I don't agree with, but I think that they should have a right to do it. That's just how I feel. Like I may not agree with it, but you should have a right to do it. You know what I'm saying? And these people wasn't bothering anybody. And all they said was the cop asked them, "Oh, you guys don't have anything better to do with your time?" This is literally right up the street up here. You guys don't have anything better to do with your time? And the dude was like, "No, we're out here." What they said they were snarky, and but it wasn't even offensive. He was like, the guy was like, "Honor your oath, bitch," the citizen. And the cop turned around and just all these cops just ganged up on them. They were live too, knocked their shit out their hand. And I just heard probably about an hour, like I just saw that there was a bombing in front of the Aria, or a car blew up or something, like not too long ago. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on out here in Vegas? I know y'all saw the dude get killed down there in front of the Bellagio. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what, we starting, we starting the summer off a little bit too hot for me. Otherwise I would go down there. But if it's cars blowing up, YouTubers getting killed, it's getting out of hand out here. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. But I was at work today, and there's a young lady that I work with, and I'm not gonna say anything. What's up, Memphis? There's a young lady that I work with, and she expressed that salute James Wong. Her oh, what's up, man? What's up? Salute from Europe and Germany. From Germany. She expressed that, you know, maybe some of her people's paperwork ain't in order. And, she wants to go down there to the protest and, because this is what the young people were feeling. This is their spirit. They want, and I'm talking about, these are American citizens. These are kids who probably have immigrant parents. These are kids that, and I'm not just saying immigrant parents, but parents that may not have their paperwork, and they're afraid. So she wants to go down there and protest and all that. And my suggestion to her was not to, only because, and this is what I told this young lady, right now in this country, the law is being used even for vendettas, right? So, like in that instance I just spoke on, those cops here in Las Vegas, like literally just yesterday, turned on those people that just simply call them a bitch. Okay, you call me a bitch, I don't care. Like, cops get called all kind of stuff all the time, and use the power of the state against these people. And as I told her, the state is being used to have vendettas against people. So if you go down there and get in trouble, the law will start looking into your family and what y'all's paperwork is looking like. These are the times we live in. And if you don't want to put those eyes on your people, on like, especially if they just sitting there, don't do that. Don't go down there and get yourself arrested when you don't have to, especially with this orchestrated as it is. There are already Craigslist ads and the such that are paying people, $200, sometimes $200 a day, $200 every couple hours to go down there and rabble rouse, to go down there and cause a ruckus. And some of these ads are, of course, they're not written to say, oh, go down there and cause a riot, but they're written in a way to where it's like, they're to entice a certain personality type, if that makes sense. There are some people that show up to these events or these protests or riots or whatever you want to call it, and they have no intention on protest. They don't care about either side. They don't care about law. They don't care about order. They don't care about the cause. They're there to cause problems, and they know that there's a personality type out there that would, for one, probably gonna show up for free, but definitely show up and get that $200 a day. You know what I'm saying? And they coming down there. What up, Maddie? They're gonna show up down there and they're gonna cause problems. Sometimes it only takes a rock. If I go down there right now and everybody's just yelling at the police or whatever, and the police are just standing there, and I go out there in the crowd and I just throw a rock. That's all I have to do, and everything just goes up. There are some people that get off to that. They're anarchists, real anarchists, and people say, "Oh, Antifa and this and that." You can try to assign a name to an anarchist, but a real anarchist don't give a fuck about being a part of an organization. If the organization is going to serve the chaos, then absolutely. But a real anarchist, or one that's true to their spirit, don't give a fuck about none of it. Just want to see everything burn. You understand? They don't give a fuck why it's burning. It just got to burn. Like, got to breathe them embers. And chaos right now is everybody's in this headspace of like, what's about to happen. We've been talking about the economy. They set us up as far as, rising the fear up in us about these tariffs. What happened to that? What happened to the tariffs? What happened to the supply restraint and all that? What happened, right? They just like all stuff that they give us, and we like, oh, especially myself, like I say, certain personality types they attract, right? I'm gonna show y'all something that I noticed with myself. I only go viral, okay? Now I can sit up here and y'all, and especially for y'all, they control us through fear. And I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all see me make videos all week, and a lot of those videos are just nonsense, right? Me maybe reacting to something, or maybe me, I ain't gonna say nonsense, or me talking, like sincerely about my life or what I feel. I'm inconsequential to, everything that's going on. Those videos just, they do okay for me, and I appreciate everybody that watch them. But as far as like viral, no, they don't go viral. They sit there. But when I have a political point that the machine can use as a spear or a dagger, I blow up. They take that content and they push it. And I'm like, bro, why do I blow up for this? Like, yes, this is my opinion, but they're using this opinion. And then you go into my comments, right? You go into my comments, and my comments is a race war. It's literally a race war. And so I have to private those videos or make them friends only, because it's like, I see what they're doing. And then they pay me for those. They push me for those. They encourage me to make more of that type of content. And it's not that I can't. It's not that I don't have those opinions. It's that they're using me. And some people allow themselves to be used in that way as, like I say, weapon of the machine, and it benefits you. But when you recognize it, it fucks with you in a way, The no kings. Father's Day is depressing. Just came, give a virtual hug to tell all the father, to all the fatherless. God is my father, and He is yours too. I appreciate that. Yes, He is. What up, the fat controller? But that's what bothers me. They don't just use people like on the street to throw the rocks. They use people like myself and our words to incite, right? Because I'm gonna speak my opinion. I'm not gonna not speak my mind. You understand? And they know that, right? But it's like that's why I say this shit is complex. This shit is complex. It is, and so they use like that. The video, and no, here it did okay. I mean, it's in a as far as YouTube. YouTube doesn't like, and this is what I've noticed. YouTube doesn't like their shorts to be too controversial. I can make the shorts reacted to something, and I have to bleep out certain words and everything. Those are fine. But when it's a controversy, YouTube shorts try to veer away from that. Which, to be honest with you, I appreciate that because it encourages me to be more creative on here, right? But on TikTok, certain stances as far as short form content is pushed, and especially if there's a piece of your political opinion that they can use, they're going to use it, especially if you're wrapped in a certain skin. Right now, there's a divide between Black and Hispanic people right now because of this whole immigration thing, right? At least online, there's this, and I think that divide has always existed, even in real life. Like I say, I lived in LA County for 21 fucking years. I can't sit here and act like there wasn't some racial animus between Black and brown while I lived there. That's always existed. There's always been this tenuous relationship between the two races. And I was privy to bear witness to it, because my kid's mother, being Mexican, grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, and going over there, you have to be on your P's and Q's, right? Because like I said in another video, there was incidents where the racism was very explicit towards me, and not necessarily by her family, but by the people that were around and in the sphere. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not new. That's not because of this or that. But when people were getting online and saying Black people need to be out here marching, I don't even think Black people need to be out there marching when it's like a nigga gets shot up. I think it needs to be more controlled. I think it needs to be more measured. I think it needs to be more, like I say, focused, a more focused blow than just this broad shotgun. Oh, we're going to go out there and protest and knock shit over and wave flags and burn shit up. That's stupid. Like that doesn't, what that does for the machine is it gives them reason to build up their military forces. Really it does. It's just like, okay, we need more toys. And so we can control these crowds. We can have sonic weapons, non-lethal sonic weapons on the fucking field, and just blow, auditory, shit towards these people that's gonna fuck with their stomach and their bowels and shit, and make them leave. They're gonna experiment on within this next few months. They're gonna experiment with all types of weapons on the American public. Because why not? Why wouldn't they? Like they didn't pay for it. They got to use it at some point. But when you get out there and you start burning shit up, what it does is it gives them grounds to pay for more of that bullshit. Drones, surveillance stuff, facial recognition. So even when you're wearing a mask, they know who you are. You know what I'm saying? They pay for this shit so that they can see what y'all are doing. And like I say, the anarchists are going to enter the fray. They don't give a fuck if it's going to hurt your cause. They're just going to burn shit because that's what they do. They don't give a fuck. They show up to Black Lives Matter. They're going to show up to this protest. They're going to show up to the next. They don't care. They want to see the world burn. Trust me, my heart has been there. I understand where their mindset is. It's not it's not to fix anything. They don't give a fuck if society bends or breaks. They don't give a fuck if the war is at their doorstep. They don't give a fuck if they don't care. That's not what an anarchist think. And I think people don't understand that. They think that it's oh well, okay, Antifa, they just want, no, bro. Really think about it. Break down the machine. What takes its place? Chaos. Like people not, warlords, like factions, sections, these are things that people have to understand. Law and order has to be controlled by the people. That's why I say everything has to be a controlled strike. It can't just be shotgun blast. What was it? 2 representatives got killed today. 2 fucking representatives got killed today. Democrats. And this person probably thought he was doing the Lord's work by taking these people out the game. Oh, I'm about to go and kill 2 representatives. But what is it going to do? They're not no sides, bro. This is all one side. All this is going to do is say, oh, you know what we need? More weapons, more control, more this, more that, Let me read this stuff. That's why I subscribe to you, because I think your unique experiences made you a free thinker, finding people not indoctrinated by some programming. Thank you. I appreciate that. You distract yourselves. Get focused. They've been distracting us since birth. We need self-discipline. It's hard though. They hit us. They hit us in so many different directions, right? One of the ways, obviously, they hit us is through economics. When you're constantly worrying about how you're going to pay for stuff, you don't have time to think about revolution. Because what is revolution? I've asked that. I like so many people right now talking about revolution, revolution, revolution. What does that mean to y'all? And people can't define it. Like, does that mean, let's say, and I'm entertaining this, YouTube. I'm not saying this is what I'm talking about, but let's entertain the fact that we take down the government, right? We take them down. What takes its place? Who stands on top of that hill, right? Because you can't just think that it's like the first Star Wars movie where you blow up the Death Star and then everybody's just standing at this fucking podium getting the medal and we all good. It doesn't happen like that. The Empire fucking strikes back. You understand? And what do you do in that instance? You get fucked up. You understand? And there's never an answer to that point. You strike a blow at the machine. You take down everything. We struck a heart of capitalism. What takes its place? What takes its place? Because I'm not smart enough to sit there and say what takes its place. I'm not. I can only think up to the point of saying, okay, maybe if we separated here, maybe we could, but I can feel one hand with babies and another hand with shit, see which one fills up first. And it don't mean shit, right? Because maybe we can live in peace, maybe, but when have human beings ever just lived in peace? Even when there's no government, even when there is no technical machine, when have people just been like, okay, we good? We cool with our neighbors, we cool? Never, bro, never. It's always been something. Something always takes its place. Right, they are the masters at what they do. They are, and some of these people, honestly, people are probably older than goddamn we can even like perceive. Like, oh, nobody can live that long. Some of these people probably like some centuries old, and they've seen different timelines happen, and they control this shit, bro. They do, them, or at least their kids and grandkids, and the people who rule, like, not through money, but through power. That's what this is all about. Bro, there's nothing better, right, for a human being than power. Money is just a means to an end, right? The real people that rule the world don't give a fuck about money, bro. Money don't mean shit. What does money mean when I can control the world? They don't mean nothing. I like, what do I need to spend? I can do whatever the fuck I want. And if I can control people's minds, if I can control their thoughts, I am powerful. I am like God. If I can bring us, what do they call it? The singularity, where they bring us all into this, like, this mental machine matrix where, okay, we can buy what, and it's funny how they say it, we can buy, sell, and trade. What that sound like? On this net, and we don't have to, there's no barrier between us and, dude, the internet is already fast enough. How much faster do you need it to get? We really need to be connected by the brain in order. It's because of control. And it's not just the control of, okay, I want you to buy something, I'm trying to make money. It's spiritual, bro. It's, I control your species. I control who you are. I control your people. I control what y'all think. That's what they do. Look, bro, one thing, I've been alive long enough to realize, at this point, I understand that everything that we experience is like, it's like a movie. Every week there's something else. Y'all can't tell me, bro, like, when I was growing up, that wasn't a thing. Yeah, you might get an event, a plane crash here, maybe a war started here, but this shit was spread out months, years apart. This shit is happening weekly now, daily. And then the weekend happens, and it's like, all right, it doesn't happen on the weekend. Monday come around, it's a new episode. I don't get it, bro. We can't go back and forth and find our tribes because we're too far. Exactly. We're fucked up. You can only war with them with non-physical weapons. That's how the Haitians fought. And you're right, and they did. They fought with one of the first forms of biological warfare, because which is brilliant, right? And but look how they adapted to that. They took that and adapted to it, right? Like, brilliant way the Haitians defeated Napoleon. Napoleon's army was weakened by the ingenuity of just not using outright warfare against people. Get motherfuckers sick, make them deplete them. But that's, like I say, that's precision. That's thinking that like a lot of us don't have. We don't have that. We don't, especially with how this machine works. Everybody thinks guns. I got my gun. I'm gonna go with my AR-15. Yeah, okay, you're gonna get clapped. I've seen enough people get clapped just fighting the local police. Like, let alone you trying to fight the Marines or somebody, they're gonna fuck you up. like, like badly. Like, what are we talking about? Constant trauma. Yeah. Oh yes, that's what it is. And it's a loop every week. Oh, like what is it? Oh, now y'all got to get ready to go. And I'm hearing, I'm hearing that, and this is just what's being said, that people are starting to receive phone calls from their command to, they're getting that call and they ain't got shit to do with no riots. And we talking about this Middle East shit. It's niggas starting to mobilize, and so we all got PTSD. Yeah, we're fucked up, bro. Like if people got together and put their PPP loan, we could have bought it. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Maddie. But yeah, it's a lot of military people that I know that are starting to get, okay, you're gonna have to be here at this point. You're gonna have to be here at this date. You're gonna have to come here and sign in. You know what I'm saying? And that to me sounds a lot like, the early 2000s. For example, some of the Taoist masters, I hope I said that right, fought against the regime. Some fell. The ones that survived had mass amounts of chi, but they lives secluded with their lineages. It's hard to even reach them. Yeah, exactly. And so that knowledge becomes lost, and it's something that's hard to obtain for their people. And then like you said, their lineage becomes isolated, and the world around them still ramps up. Evil grows when you isolate, and like, especially when you have like good intentions and you do want the world to be a better place. Evil wants you to go and isolate yourself. It wants you to, because it can thrive. You know what I'm saying? Evil does thrive in the shadow. It never goes away. And I think people's idea that if you win certain victories, things just, we learn and we change. But no, evil always is under the surface. Always. It never goes away. Things are ramping up. Yeah, it's about to get real crazy. Real crazy. Really crazy. This what I'm seeing going on in the Middle East right now is very concerning for me, because there's not going to, like, a lot of young people believe that they have a choice, like I don't think a lot of young people have ever been up against like that type of a wall, like that type of you're going to do this X, Y, and Z, and these are military people telling you you're gonna do something. I don't think people, and I think even people that have been to jail have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. There's a wall that you come up against at some point, and it's a wall of complete, it's unmovable, right? And that's like, you're gonna either do this or this is gonna happen, right? And when you're in that situation, like, that's the test of your character, right? Am I gonna go this way, or am I gonna face this? Either way, it's not a good choice. And if I made a video yesterday and I said, because I want to speak on some stuff, right? I just can't speak. I can't be specific. I can't. I just can't. But I want to speak on some stuff, and I'm going to speak on some stuff a little bit. I said, in order to convince you young people, to go and fight their war, because nobody wants to fight a war. I don't give a fuck what political side of the spectrum you're on. What would they have to do to convince you? And when I say convince you, I don't mean that in the sense of, oh, we need your permission. And I don't think people caught on to that. What do they have to do to convince you that you about to go over there and fight for this little piece of strip of land in the Middle East? What would it take for you, right, to go over there and say, okay, this is what I'm about to lay my life down the line for, right? Going back to the beginning of this video, when I talked about the young girl that I work with, she is a military age young lady. We're drafting women, we're drafting men, her family, she has this fear in her about her family, being deported, about ICE picking up her family. There are people that are citizens, there are people that are on paperwork, right? That if this shit jumps off like it's gonna jump out, will happily join the armed forces to get their folks back over here. There are people whose parents have been here 20, 30 years before they were born, never got their papers together, have recently been deported, sent to a whole nother country. If you've been here 30 years, you barely know the customs. I don't give a fuck if you came from there or not. You don't know, right? They over there. Their kids are still here. The government come to you and say, okay, look, you do this, you come over here, you activate here. There's this is a path to citizenship for your family, for this, for this many people. People are going to accept that deal. There's no shortage of bodies. There's no shortage of circumstances that they haven't set up for us, the public, to go and fight their wars. Like I said, the supply issue, right? That was them taking control over a whole lot of the supply, where it comes from. This is them, like I said, tightening their belt, right? So when they want to strangle us with said belt, that's the choice we have to make. Are you going to do fucking this, or are you not going to eat? Are you going to go over here and fight our war, or are we going to shoot you in the fucking back? I'm telling you how it's being set up. And I can see where there's people with a mindset that don't know how slippery of a slope it is to start arresting fucking protesters for simply calling a cop a bitch. That's a slippery slope. People are saying, you better watch your mouth. You saying that right now. You're saying that, okay, because there's some silly protesters in Las Vegas that called a fucking cop a bitch that's obviously on a power trip. Okay, ooh, you can get your fucking rocks off and you can lick all the boots you want. Great, fantastic. But understand that that's a slippery slope that comes next. What comes next with that? You either gonna do what the fuck the cop says, or he can put a fucking gun in your mouth, and what do you do then? What choice do you have? You understand? Like, do people not understand how slippery this slope we are on? And when they tell you that you're gonna fucking go into basic, or you're gonna go and do any type of special training in order to go over there and potentially be cannon fodder for the country that shall not be named, for their unholy fucking crusade in the Middle East that has not stopped since fucking 9/11 2001, you're gonna fucking go. That's a fear that a lot of people have not faced, bro. It's a horrible fucking fear to know that, okay, these people have your absolute goddamn life in your hand, and you got to go over there and fucking either kill or fucking die, or lose everything that you've worked for up to this point. That's what they're setting us up for. That's what this is all about, bro. Uncontacted African tribes do not want to come out to America. I know what everything is here. Why go? No, I understand. Like, don't especially, my thing is this, and a lot of people, even for the people that want to flee America, go. But the reach doesn't stop at our borders. It doesn't stop in the Middle East. It doesn't stop in Ukraine. It doesn't stop in Asia. So yeah, you can isolate yourself, but when the empire wants to touch you, they're going to touch you. So as much as you isolate yourself, you can watch everything around you absolutely fall apart, burn. But if you don't touch the hearts and minds and spirits of some of those people that are conditioned by the empire, then what happens? The empire eventually comes and it burns down everything that you have isolated yourself and built, right? It does. I see people say all the time, say, oh, we're going to go and we should go and build our own country. We should go and absolutely, I agree. If you want to do that, but understand that doesn't stop the empire. The empire and the machine going to still come. And if you have something that they want, they're going to take. And then what do you do when they come? Look at Africa right now. You have all these different tribes, and Africa is a perfect example. All these different tribes, all these different countries being exploited by the fucking French, by the fucking the Russians, the Chinese, us. Y'all are being exploited. Y'all are being exploited. These fucking cheap devices that we get, the reason that we're able to live so well is off of y'all's resources. Right? Off of what y'all have. Like this, we ain't got all these lithium mines and shit here. We taking that shit from y'all. That's the empire. That's what I mean. The empire's reach don't stop at our borders, or because they do that. And then when y'all do have a leader that wants to come up and put something out here like that, okay, we want to unify Africa, we want to bring together the diaspora. What do? They fucking put a target on his head. What do you do to defend against that? You understand? Like, what do you do? That's what I mean. Everything is like, okay, it's idealistic. Absolutely. You want to see Africa rise. You want to see black people do good. You literally want to see shit become Wakanda, and y'all, I personally, this is what I want. I think every black person here wants this, for Africa to be fucking independent and unified, and y'all to have y'all resources and it to become this goddamn mecca. We want that shit for y'all. We want that shit for the fucking world. We want it, but that's that wall I'm talking about. The empire, the machine is that wall. Y'all got to come across that wall. And too many Africans worship white people. Let's be honest. Y'all got to bleach. Y'all got motherfuckers over there bleaching their goddamn skin. Motherfuckers are this cheese and grin again, ear to ear whenever there's a white nigga in a room, bro. Like that shit got to stop. That shit got to stop first and foremost. Right? Can't always bend over for the first fucking, white man that want to come over there and build a fucking bridge or fucking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. This is from the people that benefit from y'all's exploitation. I'm telling you, our reach it doesn't stop. This appetite of infinite growth, right? This, that's what capitalism is. It's year-over-year growth, profit over profit. That insatiable appetite for the beast don't give a fuck about a border. It has no loyalty. It don't have no loyalty to us. It don't have no loyalty to the white people that are in this country, whose lineage they can literally trace back to the founding fathers here, right? See, it's white people here that can trace their lineage back to the founding fathers, having been property of the different slave masters and all that. But what the fuck does that mean? Nothing. It don't mean shit, because the machine, this empire is this particular apparatus of the machine. The United States is a weapon. We are a weapon. We are a weapon of the machine. Always have been, always will be. And when they want to use us against y'all, what do y'all do? That's my question. What do y'all do? That's for the world. That's the world over. That's for the Europeans. That's for the Asians. That's for the Russians. That's for everybody. When whoever is in charge, I know who's in charge. I know who runs this country. I know who they are. But when they want to use us against you, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do when the United States says, okay, we coming in? God damn it. What country, I'm saying on this planet, what do you do when that happens? Because remember I was talking about those anarchists? At the end of the day, we don't give a fuck. We will burn the whole goddamn world to the ground in order to prove a point. As a weapon, in order for our nuts to hang, right? Like the Vikings of old, that is who the United States is, except we don't have necessarily this attachment to the divine where, okay, our battle scars have to mean something, in order for us to get into the gates of heaven or whatever, right? No, we do it because we're paid, because we're economic slaves to a machine that squeezes us as tight as it wants to when it needs to in order to make us desperate enough to be used and abused. And when they want to use us and abuse us to put us in the direction of blowing up y'all country, raping and pillaging y'all's lands, shooting up y'all shit, pushing borders this way, pushing borders that way, in the name of what? What do you do? That's all I'm saying, bro. You can say no, but when you say no, what do we do? Soldiers equal sold to die. Exactly, for bankers. The only solution I can think of is the BOT. Not much of a solution, but it's a big help. No, I'm not saying it to be defeatist. I'm not. Don't think I'm saying this to say, okay, that wall, even though it seems insurmountable, there is no wall that is not scalable. There is no cage that can't be escaped from. You understand? It just requires focus. It's just, I've learned that in order to learn anything, let's not even get this complex with this whole Game of Thrones shit, right? With anything, you have to ask a question first. If you don't know the fucking question, you can't learn anything. You can't. I learned that a long time ago. So I'm a slow learner. And one of the things I was like, well, why do people learn so fast? It's because I didn't know what the fucking question was. When you learn the question of something, that's why for some of us, we have to learn by taking shit apart, because we come across each problem, right? Like, okay, now this is a problem. Now I see how this works. Because it raises more questions. And the more questions you have, the more you learn, because okay, you can see how this works or how this works, how this works. And these questions may be complicated, but they're questions that you ask yourself so that solutions can become a part of the collective consciousness. They're complex questions that people have not asked themselves because we have been so submissive to the machine for all of our lives. That's our conditioning. But when you ask yourself, when you go up against the machine, how do you unify people? How do you create community? Y'all see the videos that I fucking react to on here. How do you create community with that? That's a complex question. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not an easy answer. It's not. But it's something that you ask yourself in order to start putting those pieces together. That's it. That's all. I'm not smart enough to do it. I'm trying. I'm one person, right? All I can do is sit here and try to make some videos and ask questions or, go ruminate about the things that I'm thinking about and share them here. But that's as far as it goes with me. I want to try to inspire young people to understand that they can probably change something that we couldn't, right? Or at least they can manipulate this reality in a way that we didn't understand that we could, right? Like, like that's what but you have to ask yourself the question. It's not just, okay, we defeat them and then everything is great, because it's not going to be that simple. He needs your agreement. Everything is a contract. Satan is a lawyer. You're right. A lot of people are extremely demoralized, though. Yeah. And I get that, I'm smart. Listen to me. No, I agree with you. Satan does, but you can't, how to put it. You can sit there and say that Satan needs a contract, or people, are given a choice to sell their souls. Absolutely. But people are oftentimes manipulated into selling their soul too. Right. And they're put in, like I say, they're put into conditions to where they feel that their only options is to sell pieces of themselves. Y'all saw, I put a video up where the girl's talking about the only way that you a good mom if you desperate, if you selling coochie. Her mentality, her thinking, her, and she's dead serious. Like, she's defending that position. And I'm laughing because it's a perspective, right? It is a perspective. Is it, in my opinion, the right perspective? Hell no. There are always other ways besides getting out there and selling pussy. Because what if you get out there and sell pussy, right? You go out there, go on a date, you don't come home, right? I mean, I guess that can happen at any point, but you are more of a risk of being drugged or raped or put in a position that you don't want your kids to, see you in or find you in. So don't put yourself in that position if you can. But her perspective is that's the only way to get it. And the machine will set her up, and people will say, well, you're selling your soul in order to get money to feed your kids. And in a way, she knows she is, right? But in her way, that's the only way to get the money. She's been manipulated by the media. She's been manipulated by the other 304s that's on here selling that lifestyle as the only way out. She's been manipulated by the culture, by politicians who got fucking people like Meg Thee Stallion on there pushing that shit on these young ladies. She's been manipulated to thinking, oh, selling pussy is how you do it. And it is a way to do it. And they can, and there's people on here promoting that, and they're showing the bag and this, but look how many different forces are working against that naive girl. I mean, really, she don't have a fucking chance, especially if there's nobody, an older woman, especially, that's in her life telling her, baby, that's not, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? What's up, world number one fan? A force can force its will on you, whether it's conscious, physical being, or non-physical. This place is such a paradoxical mind fuck, such a labyrinth of complex simplicity. Sometimes you just got to take it back to breath and watch. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's an experience. And, some people say, oh, we chose to be here at one point. I don't know. I don't remember not being born. Before this, I don't remember anything. And I'm pretty sure I probably won't remember anything after this. I don't know. But while I'm here, exactly, it is a mind fuck. It's a lot. There's no solution. And I think we want the credits to roll. You know what I mean? We want it to be like, like I said, like a movie. Like a movie has a conclusion, a story has a conclusion, a game has a conclusion, the credits roll, there's a sense of completion, right? But life ain't like that. Life always feels like, fuck, man. Like, I didn't get to do this. I didn't get to, like I said, my dad died this year. I didn't get to, there's a lot of stuff I would have liked to have talk to him about, or just share conversations like this with him to see what his what his position was. But I never took that opportunity to do that, right? And that that bothers me, and I knew it would bother me. But like I say, sometimes you have barriers even within yourself and hurdles within yourself that you have to overcome, and sometimes you don't overcome them and it's too late, right? And like I say, it's nothing that you could do. I believe that. I do believe we're living in. I believe we're living in a simulation. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Great T News? The Truman Show. Everyone, calm down and think. Party Boy and Janarino giving us a lap dance. You stupid. You think so, Great T? I don't know. I think so, because think about it. Do you remember before you entered this situation? No. Do you think you're gonna remember after you leave the situation? No. So in a way, it is like a simulation. It's one long ass simulation. It's a physical simulation. I think everybody believes, just because you can touch and taste and see and feel something, that it's real. But what is real? You can interpret, things. What I'm saying? You want universal income? Universal income means that the machine is completely taking care of you. And when they want to tell you to go left in order to get your stipend, you got to do it. When they want to tell you to go right to get your stipend, you got to do it. You're going to have to jump through all these hoops, Wayne, to get your universal income. They're never gonna. The same people that y'all are protesting to give y'all that money are the same people that are gonna control that money. They're gonna fuck you. That's what they do. These are sadists. If they do give us a universal income, great, absolutely. That way, a lot of people can, get at least feel like they're gonna get money. But there's gonna be a whole nother level of fuckery that comes with that. They never give you anything for free. If it was the case, the welfare system would have uplifted the Black community ages ago. It hasn't. What has it done? What has the welfare system done for the Black community besides just keep it crushed, incentivizing fuckery, right? That's what it does. I'm not trying to say, help isn't needed when it's needed. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be some type of leverage that the government give when they're doing this little manipulation shit that they're doing. But this is the bigger picture of it is anything that they give you comes with a fucking price. It does. It just does. Like, these are not, I guess it is a spiritual thing. These are not good people, bro. They don't, their currency is evil, man. Like, if they give you a universal income, everybody gets this check, right? Everybody gets $1,000, because that's something that would be great. I would love $1,000 a month, right? But what happens? They're gonna inflate the goddamn economy, right? They gonna, you want your you want your wow? You gotta come in and take a drug test every fucking 3 weeks. Stupid shit. Like, that's what they do, bro. You got to do this. You got to do that. You have to come here. You got to make this meeting. You got to be here for this fucking phone call. Control. And y'all say, that little bit of bureaucracy means nothing if they give me $1,000. It means something to me. I don't have to fucking sit on a fucking phone and wait on them to fucking play with me. I don't even like to have to do that when I have to confirm the taxes or confirm this or confirm that with this fucking, this craziness, bro. We're not too late. if you never studied the occult, then you wouldn't understand the correspondence. I've never studied it, but I can feel what this shit is. I can feel what it feels like. I can see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Easy, go to work. That sounds like hell. It's what it is. Like, think about it. Even if they gave you it, I think there shouldn't be nobody on the street. Y'all know how I feel about that. There should be places for people to go. You should be able to go to a government office and say, look, I done fell off, right? I need a place to go and wash my ass and sleep and do all the shit, so I'm not living out on, because y'all already made that shit illegal, right? That should be something that they set up for people, right? But they won't. Why? Do y'all ever wonder why they don't do that? Especially with all these vacancies, because they want you in this loop. Just like when I was out there last year, they want you tired. They want those days, especially when it's sitting out, when you're hot out there. I don't think people understand how quickly it is, how easy it is to lose your mind out there. And they want you out there so that you can lose your mind, and then they can just throw you in a box, right? And because they have a place for you. They have a free place where they'll feed you, They have a free place where they'll house you, right? They just need a reason to put you in that box, right? And if you out there and you start losing it and you start, talking to yourself and doing it, they got a place for you to go sleep. Oh, trust me, they do. They got universal income. It's just that they don't control how they give it to you. You know what's free I found today? Mulberry's tree growing where I live. See, there you go. Get some. There was some. We used to live where they had the, what is it, pomegranate trees. Like, we had a pomegranate tree in front of our house, and the pomegranates would grow so big and it had like the fucking season. So, oh, speaking of which, drinking some pomegranate juice right now. Well, my whistle real quick. Funny you say that you've never seen that movie. What Happened on Monday? Where's all the head at Hunger Games? It is. It's kind of like that. Never mind not casting pearls. It's like it's difficult than anonymous people. But yeah, they want us under that. They want to say, okay, daddy government, give me. And I'm not saying that to say, okay, I think people get so mad at me saying, well, people need this. People need it. Trust me, I know people need fucking food stamps, bro. Like, I'm not saying that people don't need food stamps. I'm saying that when your mentality is, this is my financial future, you didn't gave up. This is your financial future, because they're gonna control you. And then when they cut you off, because they gonna cut you off, especially when you get on here bragging, oh God, I done spent fucking $800, $900 on bullshit. They gonna cut you off. You don't think the government ain't watching this shit, bro? They watch this shit. They pick this shit up. They have all these algorithms and bots and stuff. They see you fucking off on EBT. They gonna take that shit. They want you desperate, bro. And then you lose the shit. And then it's like, okay, what do we do? You fucked up in the head. It's a spiritual harvest, bro. Now, oh, what do I do? Oh, I gotta get. I saw a woman yesterday. She got 6 kids, 6 fucking kids, right? She got 6 kids. She got cut off of Section 8. She's like, oh, what am I gonna do? Now, to be fair to that woman, her attitude about the situation was great. She's just like, now I got to see what it's like to pay regular rent. That's what she said. Like, I got to figure it out. Like, she wasn't crying. She wasn't all stupid in the face or yelling. And, she just like, it is what it is now. I got to figure this shit out. I respect that wholeheartedly. But my point being is that she relied up on that system of government assistance to the point where they just said, fuck you, we're going to cut you off. We don't care what happened to you. We don't care what happened to those kids. We don't care if you out on the street. You got to figure it out now. And before you even get to that point, don't even rely on those niggas for that shit, bro, because they don't give a fuck about the advancement of you or those kids. There are certain programs that are set up that are nonprofits that are within the government, especially through different churches and stuff, that do give a fuck, that will put you in a house, that will put you and a family, not just in a shelter, but in a fucking a house, a transitional what they call a transitional living house, so you can live there and then go to another place. Those are nonprofits that pay for that. That's not the fucking government. The government don't give a fuck about you, right? And yeah, you can go in there, you can get food stuff, but that's for you to be in that situation so you can get a job and then start, being on your own 2 feet, so you don't have to rely on them. That's the purpose of that. But there are people that have been raised, and some of y'all don't really understand this unless y'all really lived in the hood. There are people that have been literally raised that the government is going to come in and do this, and it is the government's job to do X, Y, Z, and it is not. The government is there to control you. It's to control the masses, to make you move here and there. That's it. Because fuck bears. The president is harsh. The president is harsh than a bitch. Cran. Yeah, I agree. The future is harsh, but the goddamn president is hurting. The president is kicking my ass right now, We're halfway through the decade. I think the events will escalate even faster at this point. This place will be completely different. Oh yeah. That's what scares me. It scared me when they started talking about it. When they were openly talking about how by 2030, and this was in 2023 when I started, I'm like, oh, they're really talking about fucking us up. Now I can see, yeah, they got all these cars in motion. You'll give them full control over your life to depend. When you depend on them, you do. And those systems are in place now. There are systems in place now, bro. There's a lady, she was crying because she started making a little bit too much money, so they cut her off of food stamps, right? She's like, how the fuck she's making, I think she said $10 more than she's allowed to make in order to get food stamps. Okay, I get it, and I get it. And getting those food stamps cut off sucks. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't, but people need to think about it like this. Okay, now that I'm cut off of food stamps, I am making fuck them. I don't have to go and report. I don't have to do none of that. Fuck them. I'm gonna try to now, even if I have to get a second job or a second hustle, I'm gonna do it. You shouldn't have to get a second hustle. That's the point. That's the point. That's what I mean. The machine squeezing. I hate that motion that looks like something else, but that's what they're doing. They're squeezing you, right? And but now she's independent of the government. You don't have to worry about reporting to them. You could do something else. Me personally, I don't I don't get a tax return now. They take that shit for child support, but I don't ever want to get a tax return. I'd rather have to pay taxes because that means I'm making enough money to where I'm not poor and I'm not receiving a fucking tax return. I make too much money to because I'm in a different. I'd rather be the person that is paying out to the system than getting from the system. Me personally, because it gives me some leverage. It gives me some level of control over my fucking life, right? Like even if I was to get in trouble, right? Just some bullshit. I can get into a fight out here on I wouldn't be on the bus if I had that type of money. But let's just say on the bus, I'm on the bus, get a fight with somebody, break somebody's jaw, right? Now I'm charged with something. There's cameras all over the place. Right now, what happens? I go sit in jail. I lose my place. All this stuff happens because I don't have the money to take care of myself. But if I have the money, I can defend myself. I can, I don't lose myself. I can bail myself out of jail. It gives me leverage over the machine. When you don't have that leverage or you haven't put yourself in a position, they can do whatever the fuck they want to you. That's why they want to keep you in the look. The lower they keep you, the more dependent on you. I mean, the more they know you're going to be dependent on them. Why can't we just stay the way? Why can't we just stay the way everything is? Because these motherfuckers have plans, bro. They got plans. You gonna cut some twigs and tree sap and do what with it? Yep, that would be new fries. New fries. That's how y'all gonna be eating in the forest. Y'all gonna just wrap some bark in some shit and fucking be eating grass. You can't stop this from happening. The only thing you can do is like a wave. You have to ride it. You're here to experience it, right? And what he said, pray. That's all you can do. People don't pray. Honestly, we was like collectively pray. Honestly, pray. Only something divine can stop this. We are too small. We do need help. We do. We need Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whoever's gonna help us. We need them. We do. We need the goddamn Justice League. We need somebody. You understand? Like, pray. I honestly, we surf the bitch. Exactly. And that wave come through that motherfucker, surf it. That's what I plan on doing. Can you stud the wave? Can I stud the wave with you? Okay. Let me see. I want to find the morals. I'd had shrooms in powder form before. Mine didn't work. My brother and my best friend had some in the house, and I tried them, but I guess they had expired, so it was just like it just left powdery stuff in my mouth. But I'm not gonna try to I'm not gonna talk about that because every time I do, YouTube give me a warning. But I've been wanting some. I've never tried those, but I do want to try some. I'm tripping, huh? He tripping. I feel like a slave in the movie Black Adam. I never seen that movie. It's funny because I moved my I'll show y'all. Let me show y'all real quick. Here. I actually moved my Black Adam today over here because I went to Target after work. Let me see if y'all can see that. So you got Black Adam from the movie. I still haven't seen that movie either, by the way. I'm really looking forward to Superman. I went to Target to get a Superman toy. These are the ones I already got, but I'm saying from the movie, they didn't have any. So what I ended up getting was Two-Face. They had them in there, so I ended up picking them up. And I don't know why McFarlane, I don't get this shit, because like DC Multiverse and then this is McFarlane Digital, but what are we doing? I think it's just an excuse for this nigga not to give you extra hands because there's no extra hands in there. There's no accessories. Do you guys know about the? I do, but some of that stuff is like, I feel like, what do you call it? Misinformation. Not misinformation, but like It's to kind of throw us off. Oh man, eventually I want to build like a whole like Batman villain wall over here, like Mr. Freeze. They got I got Two Face now. Who from this particular collection I want Penguin. And I'll probably put him right here if I ever find him for a good price. But I want like a Batman villain wall, and I'll probably end up opening him. I think I'm gonna open him too. That's like because I really don't even like him. But yeah, man, like this shit is coming together, and I moved this over here. I'm hoping at some point. So they got Orion. I'm hoping that they release Scott Free and Big Barda. Um, I get them, but I know if they release a Big Barda, I wouldn't be able to find her. It wouldn't happen. I try my best. Try to you know fucking put my fucking heart and soul into finding her and never fucking find her. And here's the rest of my DC collection right there. And the figures that I want the most out of this collection, I can't get. Just they just won't give them to me. I can't get. I can't. They're impossible to find. So it is what it is. I don't even know I went on that tangent, but thank you, Seister. Oh shit. Let me see. I want some lion's mane for my dementia. Do you guys know about the major family? I read that part. Let me see. The Khazarian mafia. Who knows? I saw a country in I don't know if it's Eastern Europe or over there, like under Russia, but it's like really pretty. But there was like no people on the streets. No. I just want to show that. Cause that was just that was just giving me a reason to show that collection. No, I just I've been thinking about Superman and stuff all the time. Honestly, can you have a Spider-Man? Nah, I'm sorry. You know how hard it was for me to find these goddamn Spider-Man toys? This was the first one I found. It took me a year to find that motherfucker. I was going from store to store looking for Spider-Man toys, and somebody on TikTok posted himself in Target out here fucking with that shit, and I went to the Target, and sure enough, it was there, and then was able to find more. But here's my favorite one. I actually opened my favorite one. I want to get the guy. Superior Spider-Man. This is actually Dr. Octopus as Spider-Man. A very fucking awesome goddamn suit, if I do say so myself. But whatever. That's the stuff that I like to do. You know what I mean? That's why. Have you tried those Diddy burgers? You're a troll jerk. Oh, okay, I see it. It's in the name. It's in the name. Spider-Man Unlimited. I've never watched that show, but I've seen people on TikTok say that it's pretty dope. But yeah, man, I don't know. And I heard that, like I mentioned earlier, there was four representatives that got shot today. Two of them died, and two of them just got out of surgery. So we living in some fucking times, bro. Some fucking times. I got the '97 movie Spawn version and Spawn on his throne. Oh, I love the Spawn on his throne one. He was part of my collection back in the day. You talking about with the little spiky thing that comes over it? That shit is dope. And he's like sitting there like this with the skeletons. This shit is hard. That shit is super hard. Goku versus Superman. the age old debate. Superman. Superman. I think Superman. The skull is too. Yeah. That shit is hard. I used to have that one. But when I sold my collection, I sold that. I sold like all my Spawn shit. I need to start getting some Spawn shit. I only got one Spawn now, and it's this fucking, I don't know why all the toys I'm showing y'all is like right in reach, but this Commando Spawn, which didn't come with no guns. This motherfucker, like, how are y'all selling Commando Spawn with no guns, bro? These guns are some guns I have to buy separately. Literally the accessories. That's why I say the one thing I don't like about McFarlane these days is that these niggas is stingy with their accessories. They give you a whole fucking box full of hands, but they won't give you a gun. They make you one rinky dink little knife. You know what I mean? Like, you want my dad's collection? He shouldn't have bought. No, I'm good. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here because I'm gonna go get some pizza. I heard that there's this place called Atomic Pizza out here where you can, going with the homegirl, we're gonna go get some pizza. You can go, it's almost, I guess it's like Subway. And you go down the line and you pick the pizza and do all that, and it close at 10. So I'm get out here and try to get some socializing going. You know what I mean? trying trying to have some interpersonal relationships that are not virtual, you know what I mean? And or not work people or internet people and stuff. But with that being said, y'all, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate y'all being here, y'all. I think we won a whole hour today. Bye, y'all.